Okay, so there it is. This is a Wix air purifier sized for a 360 square foot room. And I took the box that it came in and I cut it up with a utility knife and then duct taped it together in order to create a plenum that will direct the air output downward and over the back so that I could use it for a mushroom mycology flow hood. And I live on a 37-foot sailboat, and it's a marine climate. It's a very moldy, dusty area with all kinds of spores, and it's windy and very humid. And being on a boat also is mold generating. And I have tons of mold all the time, constantly struggling with it because of condensation. So I've tried to do inoculations and agar, and the only time I get anything to grow is when I have contamination. So I need a flow hood, and they will tell me that a still air box will work, and I find that not for me it doesn't, because there's just too many issues here. And one objection to a flow hood that I have is that you have to spray down all of your tools and the jars in your hands with lots of isopropyl alcohol. And if you're inside of a flow hood, you're going to saturate the atmosphere with isopropyl fumes, and that's going to permeate into your cultures and your agar. And my fear is that this alone is going to kill a lot of your cultures and spores, and you're going to shoot yourself down before you ever start. But with a flow hood, all you really need is 200 or 300 feet per minute, and that should be plenty of sterile airflow. And this device comes with one HEPA filter that's, you can see, 99.7%, 0.03 micron, and they supply you with an additional air filter to replace. And I chose to go ahead and just install both filters stacked on top of each other. And I just did that by taping the one filter onto the air intake screen so that it sits on top. And so the air goes through one filter, then it goes through the pre-filter, and then it goes through the main filter. And you can see from my telltale ribbons here, I get a good strong airflow, and I've had this working for about 10 days now, and I have inoculated dozens of agar jars. I've opened containers and done transfers, and so far I have no contamination of any kind from just air inoculation. And in fact, I just set an agar plate over on the wood stove just to see if I would get contamination from that, and even that gets nothing, where before all I got was contamination. And the reason I'm posting this is because on the websites people will tell you you need at least 500 cubic feet per minute, and you have to figure for this high airflow and get the smallest HEPA filter is 1 foot by 2 foot, and they cost $150, and then you need to buy a fan, and that's $150, and then you have to wire it all up and build a box for it, and you're looking at $300 or $400 for this high flow thing. And actually you can use a wick filter that works on a scale from wick 7 to 16, and this is a surgical air quality filter, and they're available in smaller sizes, and they cost about half as much. And there's lots of users that build HEPA air filters that are 99.9% effective, very low micron particle size, and just with a wick filter. And fella has built one up with a couple of box fans and taped filters over them. He hasn't done extensive testing, and he doesn't have any enclosures, so I'm not real impressed with what he did, but the concept is there. And really, to me, this is the easiest way. You can get these little room air purifiers for, you know, something to a 2 to 400 square foot room, and then just take a cardboard box and build an air shroud to direct the air how you want it. You could set the filter below your workspace and put the box above the filter and then make a horizontal airflow. This is just the way I chose to set it up. And I elevate my workspace up above the table just with a little piece of plexiglass I had, and spray it all out with isopropyl alcohol and flip this on and let it run for 10 minutes, and in my opinion, you can't beat it. And it's only $130 and some duct tape, and there you go. So just wanted to share my experiment, and so far it looks like it works great, and in the opinion of half a dozen other people, this has also been a really viable option for home mycology transfers, inoculations. I've taken I started out with Uncle Ben's grain bags, and a lot of times they get contaminated halfway through, and you can feel a nice hard lump of mycelium. And I don't squeeze the bag and let it keep going, because you're just killing it. At that point, you need to cut the bag open, take the nice hard lump of mycelium out, and mix it with clean rice. And I just did that in an open air setting, and I've got a lovely little culture going from what would have been spoiled bags that had trick in them, and also just yeast spoiled with bacteria. All right, thanks for watching. Any comments? Happy to hear.